Hi, it's Breezing with Bierman, Adam Bierman. I'm alone now. Lauren Lepre got a sabbatical. Actually, we have some Princeton-centric guests, and Todd Parker's here. We'll get into that in a second. It's June. We're having climate catastrophe. Eloise Samuels from the Trenton, how do I say this again? Trenton Oratory.
Not really. I'm the founder and president of the New Jersey Orators.
Who asked you to talk? Anyway, she's here, but she had to come through. I mean, it's like Moses out there. I mean, we have to grow gills. Yes. And there should be a sign on Baird Lane 206 saying Princeton TV. It should be idiot-proof. I'm not calling you an idiot, but you know, when you're new to the town and you're nervous and you can't see anything because there's a sheet of rain coming down. So that's my diatribe. But anyway, we have two guests. We have Todd Parker and Eloise, and they'll be talking Todd's fourth time here. Mm-hmm. It's a philanthropic type situation. I forgot my water, excuse me. And then we have Dr. Martin Wineapple, his second time, and I do talk funny. But first we'll let you introduce yourself, and Todd, and you can say why you brought her here, and then we'll get into the questions.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, I am the founder, and I am one of the founders, actually, and the president of the New Jersey Orators. It's a 34-year-old nonprofit organization, and we teach public speaking skills, literacy skills, and an appreciation for literature, and civic and college readiness skills, as well as life skills to youth from 7 to 18 years of age.
Wow.
Okay. And we, as I mentioned, we've been in existence for 34 years. We started a chapter down here in Princeton at Mount Pisgah AME Church, along with our home-based chapter out of Somerset, with 16 children. And it has grown from there to over 200 students, and we're in 20 chapters, 18 here in New Jersey, and 2 in Pennsylvania.
Wow. And Todd, how did you get involved with this? Todd's usually in the corporate world. I'm not going to say any disparaging, unpolitically correct comments about anybody, because I want you to keep your job.
I was looking for volunteer opportunities, and I looked on New Jersey Community Service volunteer opportunities. I found, linked up with Eloise. I currently live in South Jersey, so I'm actually a coach / mentor for the Willingboro Burlington chapter. So I participate once a week as a coach mentor. I've been doing it now for about a year and a half. And in addition to that, I also attend the 2 competitions that are held each year.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like Toastmasters, but for the younger set, trying to appreciation of literacy, speaking, the classics and everything. I have my questions here. So where did the idea of New Jersey Orators come from?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, there were about 4 of us who got together. We were friends, and we got together in each other's homes, and we were talking a little bit about who we were interviewing for jobs for our corporations, which was Johnson & Johnson, AT&T, Bell Communications Research. And we found that there was that common thread that across the board, whomever we were interviewing didn't have those strong communication skills that we were looking for. And then when they were interviewing, they weren't not oratorically speaking, but they didn't have the eye contacts, that confidence that we were looking for. And so we felt that we couldn't do anything to change them at the age they were, but we could make a difference if we put in place a preventative program that addressed young people from 7 to 18 years of age.
Right, got them young.
And there's been research that shows that if you offer a little bit of a skill set, on a regular basis and do it frequently, that the young people will retain it. And so
repetition and an appreciation. Yes. So if a parent wants to get a child involved in one of your chapters, how do they do it?
Okay. There's multiple ways. Most of the time, it is because they have been referred by someone else who's in the chapter, or referred by a coach, okay, such as Todd, or such as Joyce Payne, who is the lead coach for that chapter. But if there aren't parents who are promoting the program, it's programs such as you, that we go out into the community and present before large corporations, present in a forum or a TV show just as this. And then last but not least, we actually go to schools and actually do an assembly and ask for young people, the parents to get involved, with young people to get involved. And once they start getting involved with the program, they stay.
Really?
A large number of our young people are with us for 7 to 18. We had a graduating class of seniors who left the organization, and I think the least amount of years that a child was participating in the program was 3 years, to as much as 17 years for a young girl who started out with the program.
So what do they meet after school? It's like a sport in a sense. You meet like 3 days a week after school or something, and you have to show up and do.
Yes, it is an after-school program, but it is off-site. It's not at the school environment. Well, I won't say that all of the chapters are like that. We do have some chapters that meet in a school environment where they are our partners, but we meet for 1 hour in instruction and working with the young people.
So you have to be committed, though. They have to show up and be ready.
Committed.
Right.
The kids have got to be committed, as well as our coaches.
Yeah, how do you get your coaches involved? How do you train them?
We train them in our specific courses, our program. It is unique for just our young people, because we expect our young people to compete in the fall and in the spring in specific categories of speech. There are 9 categories of speech that we have come up with, and we want them to focus on that so that they will not only become very prolific in writing oratory, but also in delivering it in an oral fashion or dramatic fashion, depending on the environment. As well as it helps them if they're on a debate team. And so we teach them this style called extemporaneous speaking, where they're given only a short period of time and then to talk about a question that is posed to them.
What are the benefits for you, Todd? What do you get out of it?
So for me, I'm an English major. I have a background in the arts, film and television, public speaking. I find it really fascinating when I can see young kids ages 11 and 12, and they can deliver with miraculous energy. Michelle Obama's prologue from her book Becoming, or they can do a piece on a basketball player and talk about the history and talk about the skills, and it's educational for me, number one, but it's really amazing because I don't think a lot of people give kids enough credit, and people always ask me how can the kids do that? Well, because they can. Right. And people just don't give kids enough credit, and you see them do that, and you see them deliver. I mean, there's a lot of public figures who don't speak as well as some of these 12 and 13-year-olds. And they are enunciate and unlike myself and everything. And also, they don't throw you out there. You're just not thrown out there. It's an organized program. So you're certified in your own way when you go out there. I participated in the training earlier this year, and it's an extensive. I think we were there for about 4 or 5 hours, and we went through not just how to deal with kids, and that was part of it, but also sort of an inner look at ourselves, an understanding of everything from body language to tone, we can all go through that. It's really a very comprehensive program, and then of course they do background checks just to make sure everybody is safe as well. Right. So this is an all-around, well-run program with all the bells and whistles put in, and unfortunately today background checks and everything, because I think things get highlighted. That is definitely a requirement of our program, and our program has been recognized both locally as well as nationally. We received, nationally, we received from the Manhattan Institute the Social Entrepreneur Award back in 2002, and then more recently, we received the 2015 recognition from them. We've also received an award from, here in New Jersey, the Black Issues Conference. They look at various educational programs, not just nonprofits, but actual educational programs that are offered through school systems, and we received the Community Service Award from them. So you're proven. Yeah, we're pretty happy with the recognition that we're being garnered with across the nation and within the state of New Jersey. What kind of programs do they offer today, New Jersey Orators? We are offering our public speaking on a weekly basis, and that's our core program that we started with, but we've moved on from there, and we're offering close reading literacy workshops that will help young people to write, to be able to critically look at material, look at
a document or a program, a prose piece that was written by an author, and break it down so that they understand what that author was trying to say.
And then that influences them.
And then to state back to the audience what that meant to them. So we also are doing civic engagement workshops, and I think you can understand how important that is. There are a number of kids who are, for instance, coming out of Parkland High School, out of
Florida, you mean?
in Florida,
where the shooting was, right.
And it's unfortunate. But what they have been able to do, these young students have been able to voice their own opinion and to speak up on issues that affect them, and in this case it was gun control.
Right.
They were able to push for legislation, the first piece of legislation coming out of committee in the House. So that is phenomenal. No one else has been able to do that. And so that piece of literature, now will it go to the go to the Senate? We don't know.
But it's a beginning, right?
It's a beginning.
Also grassroots young people who've been trained.
And it makes them feel like they are doing something. So we hold a conference in the fall and one in the spring on civic engagement, and we partner with Seton Hall University,
right.
And they're Martin Luther King scholars that work with us, as well as the NOBLE, which is a national organization of black law enforcement executives. And they come together and they help them to think about what it is, what topics are important to them. The one topic that was most important to them was cyberbullying.
Wow. Well, that's what they're going through.
Well, yes.
I keep on forgetting because we are a generation apart from that. We don't live it. I mean, I do social media, but they've grown up with it,
yes.
And that's what's happening. Yeah, we keep forgetting. It's like almost like a new So how would they address that though? Would they go on Skype and I don't know, or just to write back?
It is awesome. Right. Some of the solutions that they come up with
like what?
Are phenomenal. So, for instance, one of the things that they feel that we should do is a regular workshop. Instead of in the assemblies that they have in the morning, they'll talk about what's happening in the school system. They're thinking, well, why not address cyberbullying and not only have a panel of students, maybe one or two counselors, but a panel of students to talk about what's going on in their environment, their world as students,
right.
And then how are they addressing it? And then have the counselor say, well, how might you have addressed it differently? Or this is you did that well, you addressed it well. Young people who are younger than you, they might choose another method.
Right.
And so they're
sharing and learning.
One of the things at the conference that we held on civic engagement, this young man said, I thought it was interesting what's going on for your school safety. We're in an urban environment up here in Essex County, and I'm not going to mention the city, but in Essex County, but you guys are down in suburbia, and you have, locks on your doors and metal detectors. We don't have that. And yet we are succeeding just as well as you are.
Right.
So there was some learning that, some exchange and some learning that went on even at their level that made it very worthwhile.
Yeah, because you get exposed. Yeah, it's true though. The suburbs, everyday life and everything. It's funny you said that because I hear all this talk about gun control, but I talk to students in Trenton. To them, it's a reality. I mean, they really. I mean, I'm not. Unfortunately, I don't want to get into this thing about social media. Those things happen in Parkland. They're terrible, but statistically, it might not help the parents. It's fairly rare. Then you meet students in more urban areas, maybe. It's an everyday reality to them, and cyberbullying now is everybody.
Cyberbullying is
everybody and stuff. But
you make the comment that it is a rarity with the gun shooting in the schools. It is not, and that's what's unfortunate. What's happening now throughout the nation is that there's just too many schools that are now being, bombarded by students who, for whatever mental health issue that they're encountering, they're coming into the schools with guns.
Oh, you think it's higher than like the 40s or 50s?
It is. It's in Colorado just recently. Right. It is down in the south. It's up in north. It's all over the nation, and it's something that we need to pay attention, and administrators need to pay attention to, and that's something that we would like to be able to contribute some information from our young people,
right.
Contribute some of the ideas that they have to how to prevent it, what they're suggesting as students, because we need to listen to them more.
Right.
They have value. There's a lot that these young people are thinking about. We're kind of protecting them, in like a little cocoon, but there's a lot that they...
Right. They're the sort, yeah, they know, and they've gone through it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. You can always vet it. What about funding, though? How do you get funding? Because money is important.
Oh, yes. And everything is based on that. So a lot of our funding is coming from our membership dues that we are charged on an annual basis. It's a small amount. But the other funding is coming from corporations, foundations, Princeton Area Community Fund. We reach out to them. They're a fund that has foundations underneath them that they provide different funding for different projects. And so we are applying to those type of things. We are applying to community block grants, the Trenton Community Block Grant, the Essex County, where there might be a community block grant in that environment. Middlesex County has a number of different townships that have community block grants. Right. Franklin Township has a.
But it's constant. It's a constant thing.
But it's constantly writing and hoping that we'll get a 25,000 here, 10,000 there, another 25, and that's what keeps our program running.
So what's the website if people want to go to it?
Definitely, I'd like you to go to the website www.oratorsinc.org. And as a matter of fact, if you just type in Orators or New Jersey Orators, it will automatically bring you to our website. We are the #1 on the Google search list.
That's very important.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Our algorithm, we're #1. I was pretty happy about that.
Well, I always go for stories because we love any amazing success stories. I know I'm getting Hollywood with you, but do you have kids who come in like a?
I really wish I could have brought a young person with
that's
me.
what I was thinking.
Like all this
Todd, this is your fault. Yeah, instead of us talking about, let's have someone do. Get an 8-year-old standing up there knocking their socks off.
Exactly.
I mean, that would
and
be.
You would be impressed.
We could do it again. We could do it again then, because one of my grandfather was a lawyer too, and I know this cliche, but he goes, one thing you can do, you can be the most effective commercial advertisement for yourself if you do learn to hone your speaking style, your body language, and everyone does it differently, and people forget about that, and you can do it, and you can practice on your own. All you need is yourself and a little drive and direction and everything.
Right.
But it's very important because
It is. And it's helpful to have these environments, the community, the organizations such as, an opportunity to go on a TV show such as yours, or organizations that are willing to allow young people to hone their skills. And so the Barnes & Nobles is one of our wonderful sponsors that allows us to come in, and we'll do a presentation for Poetry Month or Black History Month, or younger kids will do that often.
Just a walk-in advertisement for your program.
Definitely.
Right.
We have a standing invitation, which is wonderful, with Johnson & Johnson, where downtown headquarters, where they invite us to have one or as many as 5 young people come in and do a presentation for them. So it is, we look for organizations, we look for corporations that are willing to give, whether it's a lunchtime or after work or even one of their business meetings, to have one of our orators come in and do a presentation. I think we'll wow you. I think we can prove that our young people are worth listening to when you hear them.
That's very good. Anything else you want to add, Todd?
Yeah, I think she covered it. Yeah, it's really an amazing organization. If you're not able to get involved, I would strongly urge people to come to the competitions, because anybody can come to the competitions, and it's a few hours out of a day, twice a year on a Saturday morning. It's really amazing.
Right, and also I like that the fact that then they have something to aim to too. That's another reason to keep. You have to practice because you don't want to embarrass yourself, and you want to win. You don't want to let other people down.
No,
take the time and everything.
And at these competitions, they hone their skills. They're actually judged by independent, actual judges that know our program, but they receive a medal. An actual medal, as well as monetary awards for how well they do. And so once they, have done that in the fall and competed in a category and they've mastered that category, we want them to do another, try another category of speech.
Right. So one might be on the Supreme Court, one might be run for office. Well, I don't, you name it, but
there's a lot of them that are doing, broadcasting.
Right.
Matter of fact, in the Buffalo market, we have a young lady.
Oh, really? Oh, so you have successful graduates who took this and ran with it.
Gone with it in journalism, who are writing, who have become professors in English. And as he had mentioned, he was an English major. A lot of them are are majors
Graduates.
in English. They're becoming teachers, which are wonderful. We want more and more our young people to go back into the teaching profession.
Well, I should have taken it because I don't speak English that well, but I try. And bring back in a couple months, maybe in a year, bring back someone, a walking, breathing, charismatic speaker, and really show what this program's all about.
Absolutely.
Wonderful idea.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Breathing with Bierman will be right back.